Well, I am happy to take some time to talk with you about American fiction.
Cool.
I guess first of all, let's start with how you joined on with the film. Had you read Erasure before you signed on to the movie?
No, I had not read the book before. I received the script, from the usual suspects. My agent sent me the script and a letter from Cord Jefferson, who had adapted it from Percival Everett's novel.
Yeah.
And he described how meaningful he felt the story was to him, and how he had at one point begun to read the book with my voice in his head. And that he had written this script with me in mind, and that he had no plan B, was what he said. So I read the script and his letter, of course, and I was pulled in really by the first scene of the script. I thought it was a conversation that wanted to be had. It was a conversation that I was having with myself and with others around a more nuanced understanding of race language and contextualizing that language in a way that we don't often in our country. I think we lack a fluency in race in our country, although race and identity is a deep cultural vein and always has been, but we're just not smart in the way that we discuss it. And then I read further, and I was drawn into, on a very kind of intimate level, the relationship of this man to his family, because for me that is really the heart and soul of our film, and in some ways a response to the commentary on stereotypes and negative tropes that kind of permeate the media when in regards to Black story. But the portrait of that family is extraordinary in its ordinariness, and I think in some ways the most subversive part of our film.
Yeah, I would agree. I spoke with Cord a couple months ago, and I had told him that the thing that I think I really connected with the film was it's a full meal. Like, it refuses to let itself be pigeonholed into one thing. Right. It is sort of like a commentary, like you were saying, against the stereotypes. Like, it's a little bit of everything. It's a family drama. It's a comedy. It's a literary a critique. Yeah. It's like a whole lot of different things.
It is. But I think what's wonderful about the balance that Cord has found, and likewise Percival in the novel, is that the many sides of the story are complementary to one another, and even are born out of one another. The absurdity of Monk's journey that finds himself living this dual identity is in some ways, but not entirely, necessitated by his need to care for his mother. It's also born of his resentment and his frustration, but it becomes he finds, at least in some ways, justification for it, because his mother is ailing and his family is falling apart, and it's that aspect of it that I think is wonderful. That the distance between the absurdity of his public and professional life and the kind of urgent mundanity of his daily life, and that's what in that side is the real humanity of the story. And I think the universality of his journey and of his circumstances. And I it's the most inviting part in some ways, or the most openly inviting part of the film, because they're a family really like any other insane, dysfunctional, functional, but loving in spite of itself family. But in this case, just happens to be populated by a group of black people that we don't see portrayed often on film, and certainly not a group of people that I've been asked to help embody in my career. When we were on set, I was just kind of marveling to myself, one, at how much I was enjoying what we were doing, but also how I had never played those notes before in a film.
Did that help you connect with the monk character? Did you find yourself having some of the same frustrations that he was having?
Well, what I most connected with was that Monk has reached a phase in his life that many reach and many will reach, in which he's asked to be the adult in the room of his family, and when the walls start caving in and he's left there to try to hold them up, to preserve the cohesiveness of his family, and also to pay back what he was offered by his mother. I went through that period, still kind of trying to still navigating the implications of that. My mother passed about a year before I read this script, and I had the good fortune to have been raised by two women, my mother and her eldest sister, my aunt, who's now 94 years old. I grew up here in Southeast DC. And when my mom passed, I brought my aunt to Brooklyn to live with us. And so my mother was the absolute massive center of our family. And when she passed, there was a huge void that was left that needed to be filled, and responsibilities that she oversaw were passed on to someone else. And lo and behold, it seems the entire family turned at once and looked to me. So I understand that aspect of the film really resonated with me. And I was talking to my son 2 days ago. He'd seen an earlier iteration of the movie, and then he saw it the other night at our LA premiere. And he said, I've been thinking about the movie since I saw it, and I see myself in some of the things that I've been experiencing in Monk. And actually, my nickname for my son is Monk.
Oh, wow.
Felonious Monkey, I've always called him. But he said, and it's a beautiful homage to Grandma. And I said, yeah, you got it.
Thanks for checking out the show. If you like what we're laying down, please subscribe to our channel and click the bell to receive notifications for all of our latest stuff.